Hello there, good to see you again. Welcome back to another session on internet and web programming. So in this session, we are going to understand the use of various HTML tags. So recently I was thinking what to learn and what to post on this channel. So I then finalized that I should be learning some more tags in HTML. I went through a list of tags. I was really fascinated by the list of tags in HTML. At one point, I was even surprised. Do we even have such tags in HTML? So today I'm going to show you a demonstration on the various tags I've learned. We're going to take a look at various tags like opgroup, colgroup, hgroup, menu, summary, details, FigCaption, caption, abbreviation, delete, subscript, subscript, and a lot of other tags. So if you're interested in downloading the code that we're going to use in this session, visit codespindle.com. Under the category programming, select HTML, and you'll be able to find the code on that platform. So that's it. So we're going to have an interesting session ahead. Stay put and let's go to the demonstration straight away.
Okay, here I am on Visual Studio and we'll start learning all the tags one by one. Let's start with the very first tag, the abbreviation tag. We call it as abbr. And here the abbreviation I'm going to use is IWP, which stands for Internet Web Programming. So under the title, we are going to give the expansion that is Internet Web Programming. Let's save this. Let's take a look at the output on the browser. So here you see IWP is shown to the user, and when the user moves his cursor on IWP, the expansion is shown. So that is the use of this specific tag called the abbreviation tag. I hope you are able to follow this. Now let's move on to the next interesting tag that's called the address tag. So the name itself tells you it's used for displaying contact info, the address info. Let me post my name and address here. Satish CJ from VIT University, Vellore, and Tamil Nadu. Country is India. So what is the use of address tag? It's going to give these details in italics, and it's going to have a line break before the address and line break after the address. So we'll just have an h1 tag here saying welcome to my web page, and we'll have another h2 tag here just to say thanks for visiting my web page. So we're going to take a look at the output, and I would like to have a line break for every line in my address so that I have a better visualization of the address. So let's take a look at the output now. So here is the h1 tag, welcome to my web page, and then a line break got added because of the address tag. And the entire address is shown in italics, and after that immediately you get a line break and then the final conclusion message. So that is the use of the address tag in HTML. I hope you were able to follow this. Let's quickly move on to the next tag that's called the caption. So let's take a look at the caption tag in HTML. As the name suggests, this is used for giving a caption to your tables. So we use caption alongside tables. So we all know how to create tables. If you're not sure about how to create tables, please visit my previous lecture videos on HTML. So I'll be leaving the link for those lectures in the description below. Just take a look at it so that you know how to create tables, and now you can understand how to add caption to your tables. So let's first create a table. For this, we'll create a table, and the caption tag should be inserted immediately after the table tag. That is important. So we should have the caption for our table here. Say I'm going to have student marks as the caption. Maybe I'm going to list some student marks. And after that, we'll have a row, and then we'll have a column. We'll call that column to be, say we'll have the student name. Let me put my name here, Satish, and we'll have another column wherein we'll have the marks, say 20 marks, Satish has scored. So now let me just replicate this so that we get a table with many rows. Let's have Matthew. Matthew has scored 90 marks, and we'll have Chris. Chris has scored some 30 marks. So this is the table, and we can also add some style to our table just to. So we'll have this table trtd. So we're going to have some border for a table. So we'll have border, 1 pixel solid black. So you can ignore this. This is just for styling, and you have the table and the caption ready. Let's take a look at the output now. Let's see how it looks. So we have student marks to be the caption, and the name of the students and marks for the students. Maybe we'll increase the width so that our table looks a little better. Let's increase the width for a table. Width, we'll give it as some 200 pixels. I think that will be good enough. So here you see you have the caption, and then you have the student name, and then the marks. And that style we have added is all about the borders we have added to rows, columns, and the entire table. So that's the use of caption. Again, if you're not clear with how to create a table, please visit my previous lecture videos on HTML. I'll be leaving the link for those videos in the description below. The next tag which we are going to use is the code tag. What is the use of let me delete all these things. Let's move to the next HTML tag. Very interesting tag. I've used this widely when I was building code spindle. I've used this tag extensively, and the purpose of this tag is to display some computer code. That's it. So if you visit my website codespindle.com, I would have just shared a lot of coding exercises and samples here. So if you go to Java and you click on any of the exercises, you'll be able to see I would have shared a lot of code. So you see this is where we are sharing code, and all this code I have embedded using the code tag, and I was able to perform syntax highlighting because of the code tags. Just gave the code tag and the language that it pertains to so that I get the proper keywords highlighted for my code. So keeping it simple, what is the use of code tag? It's used for displaying some computer code. So let's maybe write a simple Java class student, and okay, let's make it lowercase class student, and we'll have some data members here, string name, string address. So if you're trying to display some code, then you can use this. Let me have a method here, public void display method, and we can say system.out.println hello. So here I have used third-party syntax highlighters on codespindle.com. There I would have just called class to be language Java. So now the syntax highlighters will go to the code tag and highlight the keywords for the code mentioned within this tag using this class. So again, I have posted a separate lecture video on syntax highlighting, and this video is on the use of code tag. So what is the use of code tag? It's used for displaying code to the users. Let's take a look at the output here. So you see the code is being displayed to the users. I hope you were clear with the code tag. Now let us take a look at another important tag that we use alongside tables, that is call group. Call group. And the next thing we're going to use another tag inside call group is call tag. What is the use of these tags? So these tags are used with tables, and it's used for grouping columns together. So when you group columns together, you can apply certain styling on the columns as a group. So let's take a look at the application of these two tags alongside tables. So let's start with a table first of all. So table. So I'm going to have some 3 columns in my tables. I'm going to make 2 columns fall under one group and another column fall under the another group. So let's start with call group. So we have to mention call group as the tag. So we are creating a group of columns, and the very first 2 columns, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the background color to be, say, blue. So for this I should use the call tag, and inside the call tag I'll be giving span 2. It just says in the table the first 2 columns you have to take the first two columns and then apply the style. The style that we are going to mention here is we'll give a background color. Background color is say aquamarine, something like that. Next, this is for the third column in my table. So for this, what we'll mention is called style. So background color for my third column will be say let's call it burly wood, something like this. So we are creating a group of columns wherein we say first two columns in my table will have this color and the last column will have this color. Now let's actually define the table. So we have row 1, we'll have column 1 in row 1. Say I'll just give my name. Again in column 2, maybe the marks, we'll just go with the marks again. So we'll have 3 columns. So let's also have one more column. So here is the subject, say Max is the subject. Now let's create some rows, replicate this. Let's change the data. Next name is Matthew and Chris. Say Matthew scored 90 marks and Chris scored some 30 marks. And we have Max and physics. We have physics here and we have chemistry here. Okay. So this is the table that we have created. 3 columns and 3 rows, and we are combining the first 2 columns, giving the color for the first 2 columns is aquamarine and the last column will be burly wood. Let's take a look at the output now. So you're seeing here we have the first 2 columns having a separate color and the third column having a separate color. So when you group columns using call group, you'll be able to apply styles and you'll be able to specify the styling that specific group should follow. And it's quite an useful thing that we can use alongside tables. I hope you were able to follow the use of call group and call tags. Now let us move on to the next very interesting tag. I didn't know that this kind of a tag even existed in HTML, but I was really surprised to see this tag. Let's take a look at this interesting tag called Datalist. Say you have learned forms and you know the use of input tag in forms. So here the input tag in forms, if you're not clear with input tag in forms, please visit my lecture on forms and HTML. So input tag will be used for getting input from the user. So now when the user is trying to input a subject and we want to give him some autocomplete features here. So when he types J, you have to display Java in the drop down list for him so that he is able to select that and autocomplete it. So it's kind of an autocomplete feature that we are going to give to the user. So for this, let me create a form. So you're not going to have any action here. We're not going to do anything with respect to PHP or anything like that. So it's just a simple form, and we'll have this user select his enter his subject. So we'll say enter your subject, and we'll have this input here. Input type input here is not going to be text. We are going to list it. So we're going to say we'll list the list of subjects. So subjects is a data list here. So what is the tag we are learning here is data list, and we're going to just list the subjects to him so that he's going to select it. So we'll give a name and ID, subject, and ID to be subject, and that's it. Our input thing is done. Let's create a data list, and the ID for the data list should be the same name that you give to the input list. So it's subjects here. Please be cautious about that. So ID here should match the list you're giving here. And now you can mention the options. Option. So value is, say we have Java to be the value and Java here. See, this will be displayed to the user, and this will be something that will be submitted to the server. So whenever you give something in the value option, that will be going to the server side script for processing. So we are not dealing anything with server side scripts here, but value, that's the use of value. Let's give a few more subjects. Let's replicate this. Let's say Java OS, that's operating systems, and this is networks. So we have networks here. So we are just displaying some subjects. So it's like an autocomplete feature. That's it. Let's see how the output looks now. So here, here's the prompt, enter your subject, and now he's trying Java. So here you see when he just types J, Java is displayed. So he can select Java. Likewise, when he is trying to type networks, see N when he gives is getting the list of suggestions here. Networks he can select. So it's an autocomplete feature that we are offering to the user using this tag called the data list tag. So for data list, it is used with the input tags, and here list is equal to subjects. This is very important. You should not say type is equal to text. We are used to that. And the list you're giving here should match the ID with the data list. Only then this list will be mapped to this input tag. Very simple, but very interesting. I really enjoyed learning this specific HTML tag. And now let's move on to the next tag. I hope you are following this. Very simple concepts, but kind of new concepts. So let's take a look at the next tag, that is on description list. So you call something as a description list. So you're going to have a term and you're going to have a description for that, and that will be put under the description list. So for this, the tag we are going to use is DL, description list. First we'll have the term which will give it under DD. So DD is the term for which we are going to have the description. Say I'll say cars. Cars is the term, and now we should have the description for that. That's given using the tag DT. Say cars have 4 wheels. That's the description I'm giving for cars. Likewise, we can have another term, maybe bikes, and you know what I'm going to give now. So it's just going to be the description is maybe has 2 wheels, something like that. So what is that we understand is we are going to use description list, the DL tag, along with the term and the description for the term. So you can take a look at the output here. So here is the term, and cars have 4 wheels, bikes have 2 wheels, or bikes has 2 wheels. So that's the description tag. So we are going to use that with DL, DD and DT. So 3 tags we have learned with the description list. Let's move on to the next tag called delete tag, a tag that we would have learned when we started learning HTML. So we are going to learn what is the use of delete tag. So this is just going to tell the user that a specific content has been deleted from the document. Say Satish is teaching Java, and this Java should be deleted. So you can use the DL tag, and then you can mention Java. And what is that I'm right now teaching is internet web programming. So the display on the web page is going to be, there's going to be a strike on Java. So we are just telling we have deleted this, and internet web programming is what Satish is teaching now. Let's take a look at the output. You see Satish is teaching here. It's like Java is deleted from the document and internet web programming is replacing Java. So that is the use of this pretty simple tag called delete, DL. And the next tag that we are going to take a look at is the details tag. This is another tag that really fascinated me. Let's take a look at the details tag. I know I'm a little bit fast, but these are very pretty simple tags, so nothing much to worry about. So let's take a look at this details tag. Quite interesting. So details tag has got something called summary. So you're going to have, say, let's say internet web programming is the summary. So this will be displayed to the user. When the user clicks on it, the details will be given. So the details can be a paragraph. So we'll say in internet web programming, we'll just type some text here. we need to learn a lot of programming languages, and all the languages are challenging, something like this. So let's take a look at the output of the details tag in HTML. It's quite interesting. So internet web programming is the summary. So we are given that under the summary tag. So when you click on it, you see the details is shown to the user. So pretty interesting tag. I didn't know that this kind of a tag existed in HTML. It was interesting to learn this tag. I hope maybe some of you might be knowing these tags, but this is something that I have not learned, and I have skipped it, and was very happy to have learned it now. Let's go to the next tag called a field set tag. This again, you might have learned field set. So if you're creating a form and you want to group the elements in a form under a name, you can go with field set. So when you have field set defined, you can also apply CSS styling to the entire group of elements using field set tag. Let's see what is this field set all about. For this, let me create a form. As I told you, we're going to group a set of form elements here, and let's have a label. Let's have a label, username. Let's say enter your username, and let's have an input type text. Name is username and ID is username. So like that, we can have one more input. Let's replicate this, and label for, we'll call this password, input type password, and name and username can be password and password. So that's the form, and we're going to group all these elements using a field set tag. Let's give a field set tag, and you can also have an ID for the field set. Let's include everything inside the form. So we are grouping all the elements under this field set. Maybe the group of elements here comes under a field set. That's the meaning. Next, what we have to give is, we have to give a legend for a field set, name for a field set. So this is another tag that comes under field set. The legend is, say, IWP class students, something like that. So this is a field set tag, and let's see the output so that you get an understanding. So you see IWP class student is the legend, and we are grouping these two elements. Enter your username, it should be actually password here. So enter your password. So we are grouping a set of elements using the field set tag. That's it. So this is the use of field set. The next tag we are going to learn is FigCaption. See, we have already learned caption, which we have used that with HTML table. Now we are going to learn FigCaption, which are going to use it with a figure, with an image, obviously. So let's take a look at FigCaption now. For this, we're going to understand the figure tag. So figure, we're going to use this figure tag, and then inside this we're going to have this image. So we're going to have an image. Let's say I have this database.jpg image. So database image shown here, that's the alternate text. And we're going to have this FigCaption, which is a caption for this image, FigCaption. And we can give the FigCaption as Fig1 databases, or we can just give some database management systems. So FigCaption is used for giving a caption to your images. Let's take a look at the output. So here is our figure that we are displaying using the image tag, and Fig1 database management system. So here is the FigCaption tag. Pretty simple and easy. I hope you are able to follow this. Let's now move on to the next tag, that's called Hgroup. So what is the use of Hgroup? It's just used for combining heading tags with paragraph tags. So you're going to combine a group heading with one or more paragraph tags. Let's give Hgroup, and here you can have an H1 tag saying this is a course on internet web programming, and we're going to combine the set of paragraph elements here. Let me generate some dummy text. Okay, so we have grouped this H1 tag with this paragraph tag, and that forms an Hgroup. Let's take a look at the output. So you see this is an Hgroup. So what is the use of this grouping? Again, we can apply a CSS styling to this group. So you can give an ID for Hgroup and then you can apply the styling. So what is the use of Hgroup? Group heading from H1 to H6 along with paragraph elements. Okay, so that's about Hgroup. Let's now understand the use of the next tag called menu tag. Say you're creating menus, horizontal and vertical menus. Normally we'll be using the UL tag for menus. I'll be posting a separate video on how to create menus using pure CSS. But now you just understand that you will be using UL tags when you create menus, and then you'll be applying CSS on that to create a very good looking menu. So instead of using UL tags, you can directly use the menu tags in HTML. So menu is used with list li. So here we can say item 1 and replicate this. So it's item 2, item 3. So you have a menu tag that's used for creating menus instead of UL. It's an alternative for UL while you're going with menus. So the output is going to be like an UL tag, say item 1, item 2 and item 3. But it's just like an alternate to your UL tag with respect to creating menus. Are you able to follow this? I hope you are enjoying your time learning HTML. I hope so. Now let's move on to the next very interesting tag called the meter tag. I was like, is HTML even having this? So let's take a look at this meter tag. It's displaying some kind of a gauge to the users. Let me code it and then you'll be able to understand the output. Let's have an H1 tag here. Let's say I'm just displaying the performance of the students. And let's have a label for, say, the first student is Satish, and then we'll display the performance as using a display gauge. That is, we use the meter tag to create this gauge here. So meter, and then we should give some ID, say let's say ID S1, and value we have to mention, say Satish has scored 10 marks and min value will be 0. It will be starting at 0 and max will be 100, let's say. That's it. So we are displaying this meter to the user. Next thing is we'll create another meter for another student. Let's create this meter. So let's create a meter for Matthew, and this is going to be displayed as Matthew. Maybe ID is the M1 and Matthew scored 60 marks. Minimum is 0, max is 100. So let's take a look at this output. You see, this is why it's so interesting. You have a visualization here. Satish scored 10 marks, Matthew scored 60 marks. So that's the use of the meter tag in HTML. Quite interesting. Now let us move on to the next tag called the optgroup. So optgroup is used with select. So select we have already learned in a previous session on HTML. So please refresh your concepts on HTML. If you are new to HTML, I will leave the link for the lectures, previous lectures in the description below. Just check it out. So we all know how to create drop down. So let me have a label wherein the user is going to select his countries. So let's say countries and say select your country. So we are going to create a drop down box here. Select your country. We're just going to see the use of opt group with respect to drop down or select tags. So how you create a drop down? You use select. Name will be countries. ID, I'll call that say one, something like that. Under select, we are going to give the list of countries and we are going to group them as countries that belong to Asia and countries that belong to North America using this optgroup feature. So let's go with optgroup and we'll give a label for the first group we are creating. Label, we'll say it's Asia, and inside this option group we'll mention all the options. So value, this is for the server side. Let's say India. India is a country in Asia. Like that we can have Sri Lanka and maybe Bhutan. So this is the group. So it's going to be all these countries form or come under the option group Asia. Like that we can also create another option group. We can give a label for that to be North America. And inside this we'll have this option wherein US is in North America, United States. Likewise we can also have Canada. So we are creating a select or a drop down box, whereas we are grouping the options available to the user under categories. Let's take a look at the output. So select your country. See, when the user tries selecting Asia, that is the first option group, he cannot select Asia, he can select any one of the countries under Asia. If he is from North America, he can select one of the countries from North America. So it just gives a clear display. It groups the options for the user, makes him it's like an user-friendly display wherein the user is able to just say, if I'm in Asia, I just focus on Asian countries and then select. So that is the use of optgroup. I hope you're clear with what optgroup is all about. The next tag we are going to take a look at is noscript. The script is not working. What is the use of noscript? Say we mention scripts, let's say JavaScript or any other script using the script tag. In some browsers, the particular script may be disabled. So in that case, this noscript is going to execute and then it's going to give the message to the user. So if the script is not executing, then noscript will execute. That is the use of noscript tag. Yeah, finally, we'll take a look at very simple and easy tags, that is subscript and superscript. You might be knowing these tags, but just to wrap it up, we'll take a look at subscript and superscript tag. Say let's give what is say x square. So for square we can give that in subscript tag, and let's say do you know y2. Y2 I just want that to be a subscript, so this is 2. So this 2 is a superscript x square and y2 2 is a subscript. So we use sub and sup for these two tags. Let's take a look at the output. What is x square and do you know y2? See, subscript and superscript. That's it. That's what I have learned for this day, and I was very eager to share these things with you because some of the tags were quite interesting. So I would like to end this session with the statement that learning never ends. No matter how many years you spend on a specific language or a subject, when you just take a look at it, you always have something to learn from it. That's it for now. Take care.